राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गिरिवर यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottarashata Shri Srimad Divine Grace Abhaya Charana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. ISKCON founder Acharya BBT founder Acharya's Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki. की नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की. श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ षडगो स्वामी प्रभुगण की. ब्रह्म माध्व गौड़ीय गुरु शिष्य संप्रदाय की. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Jnananjanashalakaya chakshugavunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurattushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class this morning. We are reciting from the 4th canto, 12th chapter, text number 41. Narada Uvacha Nunam Sunite Patite Vatayas Tapa Prabhavasya Sutasya Tam Gatim Drishtva Bhupayan Api Vedavadino Naivadigantum Prabhavanti Kim Nrupaha Narada Uvacha Nunam Sunite Pati Devatayas Tapa Prabhavasya Sutasya Tam Gatim Drishtva Bhupayan Api Vedavadino Naivadhigantum Prabhavanti Kim Nrupaha Narada Uvacha Nunam Sunite Pati Devatayas Tapa Prabhavasya Sutasya Tam Gatim Drishtva Bhupayan Api Vedavadino Naivadhigantum Prabhavanti Kim Nrupaha Narada Uvacha Nunam Sunite Pati Devataya Nunam Sunite Pati Devataya Tapa Prabhavasya Sutasya Tam Gatim Naivadigantum Nunam Sunite Pati Devataya Tapa Prabhavasya Sutasya Tam Gatim Matajis Narada Uvacha Narada said Nunam certainly Sunitehe of Suniti Pati Devatayaha very much attached to her husband Tapa Prabhavasya by the influence of austerity Sutasya of the sun Tam that gatim, position, drishtva, observing, abhipayan, the means, api, although, vedavadinaha, strict followers of the Vedic principles, or the so-called Vedantists, no, never, eva, certainly, adhigantum, to attain, prabhavanti, or eligible, kim, what to speak of, nripaha, ordinary kings. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada said, simply by the influence of his spiritual advancement and powerful austerity, Dhruva Maharaj, the son of Suniti, who was devoted to her husband, acquired an exalted position not possible to attain even for the so-called Vedantists or strict followers of the Vedic principles, not to speak of ordinary human beings. Purport. In this verse, the word Vedavadinaha is very significant. Generally, a person who strictly follows the Vedic principles is called Vedavadi. There are also so-called Vedantists who advertise themselves as followers of Vedanta philosophy, but who misinterpret Vedanta. The expression Vedavadarataha is also found in the Bhagavad Gita, referring to persons who are attached to the Vedas without understanding the purport of the Vedas. Such persons may go on talking about the Vedas or may execute austerities in their own way, but it is not possible for them to attain such an exalted position as Dhruva Maharaja. As far as ordinary kings are concerned, it is not at all possible. The specific mention of kings is significant because formerly kings were also Raja Rishis, for the kings were as good as great sages. Dhruva Maharaj was a king and at the same time he was as learned as a great sage. But without devotional service, neither a great king, a Kshatriya, nor a great Brahmana, strictly adhering to the Vedic principles, can be elevated to the exalted position attained by Dhruva Maharaj. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Bala Subhadra Maharani ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki. Dhruva Maharaja is being glorified for having attained the ultimate position of entering the Vaikuntha planets. Although he was only a 5-year-old boy. Srila Prabhupada especially compares the Vedavadarata Brahmanas on one hand with the great Rajarishis like Dhruva Maharaj on the other hand. When Srila Prabhupada returned to India after preaching in the West and he brought many Western disciples, sometimes in India he faced various types of opposition from the caste Brahmanas. Some of the caste Brahmanas felt insulted that how are you giving Brahman Diksha to people of the West? You know, they all are indulging in such impure activities such as illicit behavior with multiple partners or eating beef, drinking wine and doing such things. How can they be given Brahman Diksha? So Prabhupada, of course, he responded to them saying, but look at the standard in our movement. Without following 4 regulative principles, no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, and chanting 16 rounds daily. Nobody is given initiation in this moment. For a certain period of time, one has to prove oneself before one is initiated. And then those who enter the altar and worship the Lord, they have to be even more advanced in Brahminical qualities. Shamat, Damat, Tapashaucham, Shantirardham, Evacha, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam, Brahma Karma, Swabhavajam. Those 9 qualities. In some places in Sanata Sujata, there are 12 qualities of Brahmanas mentioned. So, when they exhibit the qualities of Brahmanas, then only the second initiation is given in ISKCON society after many, many years later. On the other hand, in India, you will find when Gandhiji, out of a good heart, to see that certain class of people are not neglected or uh, treated as downtrodden or untouchables. So he wanted to actually elevate them to a status where they will be respected by all. So he said, "We will call you as Harijan." So he gave that type of. Actually, it's a very good name in one sense, Vishnu Jan or Hari Jan. When you say that, it is actually Lord Krishna's people. That's the name he gave. Similarly, Subramanya Bharati, also you will know in South India, in Tamil Nadu. He saw that some people are mistreated as lower class and things like that. So he gave sacred thread to some people, giving them a sacred thread. We will treat you also as a Brahmana, don't worry. Simply by wearing a sacred thread, some fellows are claiming to be Brahman. So we will also make you Brahman. So now what is the flaw in this type of elevating a person into a Brahmana by giving them sacred thread? Just like that. So it's more like a rubber stamp. Rubber stamping somebody as a Brahman without anticipating any qualities of a Brahmana being exhibited by the individual. So this type of promotion, will it help? Simply rubber stamping people as Harijan or a Brahmana like that. On the other hand, what Srila Prabhupada did, that he said that you actually have to follow this pure lifestyle. If you see our ISKCON temples, it is open for all. Anybody from any caste, creed, color, nationality, gender is allowed to enter our temples. In fact, they can even enter up to the point of altar in worshipping the Lord, even if they were chandalas before or beef eaters before. But now they have become refined. Samskarat bhaved dvija. Then manajayate shodra. Samskarat bhaved dvija. Veda pathat bhavet vipra brahma janati iti brahmana. These are four things said. So, this is Prabhupada's standard. You can evaluate it yourself. You qualify for this, then you will be given that type of respect and that type of services, opportunity. So when I first heard this, I was so impressed with Prabhupada's approach to dharma. I really liked it because he is first awarding the qualification to the people and then he is elevating them to the status of Brahmana properly. Correct? No. Otherwise, here he is talking about the Vedavadarata Brahmanas. So, even before we discuss about the Vedavadarata Brahmanas, we can say a few words about what Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about 6 types of materialists. The first type of materialist is a faithless person. He has neither faith in morality nor faith in God. He is simply like a two-legged animal, we can say. Just eat, drink and be merry. That is his lifestyle. He will not care for anything in this world for the sake of sense gratification. He can go to any extent. Mishandling women, mishandling money, misappropriating others' property, because he doesn't care about anything in life. He thinks there is one group of people you might have heard, Lolo. You have heard that? Live only life once. So these people, one boy in Merchant Navy, he was telling me that this type of people travel in ships. They say you can even swap your wives. You enjoy your wife and then you can even swap your wives if you want. And you can also loot anybody's money. You just eat, drink and be merry. Many of them actually kill one another actually. And they live a life of, just like animals. You can see sometimes dogs, they tear each other's body. You've seen now. Because if sense gratification becomes the goal of life, such death is not very surprising. It's very obvious. Prabhupada says the animals' economic necessities are fulfilled only under unpleasant conditions. Prabhupada writes in Ishopanishad or purport. Actually, if a person doesn't follow the 4 regulative principles, in their communities, murder, leg pulling, backbiting, all these things are very common time things. You will see that. So this is the first category, called as faithless people. Then there are little more refined materialists. They say that, they have faith in morality, but not in God. They say that, yes, morality is required. How can you be completely without morals? Because they say that even to live in this world, we need morality. Like if somebody says there is no need of morality, imagine if somebody is taking away somebody's wife. If somebody doesn't care for morals, will he allow his wife to be taken away? He will naturally want to stop that person, isn't it? That means everybody needs morality and ethics in this world. So then one becomes a refined materialist. He thinks that morality is required. But he will say, for that sake, don't bring in God. Why do you talk about God? There is no God in control. We just have to come together, be moral people, and then live a life in an organized way and not fight like animals over the wealth and the resources. And just cooperatively live with all human beings. So this is like even, this Karl Marx said, religion is the opiate of the masses. What does he mean? These people are deadly against God and religion. In fact, they think religion leads to lethargy. That is their idea. Actually, was Prabhupada lethargic after 70 years? From the age of 70 to 82, he gave a slap on the face of these people who thought that religion is the opiate of the masses. It's meant for lethargic people. Prabhupada showed true religion is dynamic. It's very active. You cannot relax for one moment. There is so much to do. Therefore, their understanding is that there is no need of bringing in God. You just be a moral person and cooperatively live. So this is like the honesty among thieves. Prabhupada said, no? Like once 3 thieves looted a bank and went to forest. One of them went to pass stool. The other 2 were there. One of them said, hey, we are only 2 now. Instead of sharing among us 3, if we share amongst 2, we will get a bigger booty. Can we share it into half and run away? The fellow said, hey, we all 3 of us looted the bank together. So honestly, we should divide. Like that he was telling. Prabhupada said, what kind of honesty is that? Even looting itself is dishonesty. And you're talking about honesty. Similarly, in this world, Prabhupada talks about communists and capitalists. Both of them are talking about the Lakshmi or the resources of this world. Communists say, share and enjoy. Capitalists say, might is right. But who is talking about God out of these 2? None of them. Therefore, both are called honesty among thieves. Prabhupada says that. So, this is the second category of people. They talk morality, but they have no faith in God at all. So, therefore, their morality will only go so far until they see that they themselves have a selfish desire. There was one politician in those days, very famous, I don't want to give any names. This fellow would say that he was catching corrupt people and putting them behind bars. Many people feared him. He's a very shrewd and smart fellow who caught many people and putting behind bars, and everybody was very happy that he is, capturing corruption. And finally, when he got a big booty, he himself did corruption. That's why we say power corrupts, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely, it is said. So this is not true in spiritual realm. This is true in material realm. In material realm, if you give power to a person, the big power you give, that's the time one will loot. So he was actually earlier catching people doing corruption because he was not getting. Therefore, he was catching and putting them behind bars. When he himself got, he was looting it, and then he was himself caught later on. He had to cut a sorry figure. And this is what will happen if you keep morality without God. Because bringing God means knowing that, sarvata panipadam tat sarvatokshi shiro mukam sarvata shrutiman loke sarvama vritya tishtati. In Gita, Krishna says, the Lord is present in every atom. His head is everywhere, his hands are everywhere, legs are everywhere, face is everywhere, eyes are everywhere, ears are everywhere. And he has unblinking eyes. Bhagavatam says, Chakshur yasyana rishyati. His eyes never blink like our eyes. Like for example, if I whisper something to you, maybe somebody little away, 10 feet away cannot hear. But Lord is in spiritual world, He can hear what I am whispering to you. And that is the way His ears are. Therefore, His ear is not like our ear. His ears are transcendental ears. Similarly, our eyes are mundane eyes. On Amavasya night, you cannot see anything. Correct, no? Or without the sunlight or tube light, you can't see. That means our eyes are as good as useless stone. They are useless piece of flesh which has no ability to see on its own. In and of itself, eyes are useless. But with the aid of the sun or tube light, we can see something. Whereas God's eyes are not like that. His eyes, in fact, He sees first, then we see. Sun is His eye. He sees first, then we see after that. So, a devotee of God means he has firm faith that God's eyes are watching me everywhere. He's a sakshi. He's a drashta. He has firm faith. And his ears are everywhere. I can't, even if I bolt my door of my room and I am alone, God is still inside the room. He is watching. He is inside. He is outside. Tadan, he says, Tad dure, tadvantike. Tadantarasya sarvasya bahya. He says, he is inside, he is outside. He is far away, he is near. He is far away, Goloka Nivasati. And he is very near as Super Soul. See, similarly, he is inside the heart as Antaryami. He is outside as Virat Purusha. Where are they going to escape? There is no place. He creates millions of universes. Then he enters each universe. Then he creates millions of atoms. Enters into each atom. He creates 8.4 million species. Enters into the heart of all species. Tell me, where is he not there? And that, like the Prahlad asked his father, Papa, you are asking, where is God? It's a ridiculous question. You tell me where he is not. He is everywhere. Wherever you turn around, you see him only. And you are asking, where is he? You are only in one place, but he is everywhere. In all the places. So, those people who are unaware of God's existence, their morality is a self-serving morality for a short while until they collapse, they fumble, wanting some selfish gratification, sense gratification. You will see that. Yeah. Now, then there are people, the third category, they say that, they have faith in God and faith in morality. But their faith in God is subservient to morality. Like, for example, somebody asked Gandhi that, what about Krishna dancing in Rasa dance with the gopis? Gandhi didn't like to talk about it. He said, I worship Ram, who is actually Maryada Purushottam. He has taken Ekapatni Vratam. And he, for the sake of the nation, he even sent his wife to the Valmiki's ashrama. He didn't keep her. Such is the righteous nature of Ram. So Gandhi was certainly a moralist. There is no doubt about that. But he wanted God to fit into his morality box. And if God would do something which may not fit into his morality, then that goes beyond his comprehension. Like, for example, if Krishna is stealing butter, he's called Makanchor. When ordinary man in a station steals somebody's purse, he's called pickpocket. When Krishna is glorified as Makanchor, we celebrate Damodar festival for him. Whereas an actual thief who is stealing somebody's pickpocket, somebody's purse, police will take a belt and whip him. He just get the opposite result. You will see that. When Krishna runs from the battlefield, he is called Rancho Drive, and he is celebrated in Gujarat, isn't it? If an ordinary man is a Kshatriya running away from battlefield like Virata's son, then he is considered as having become a coward. Yuddhe chapi palayanam is one of the qualities of a Kshatriya, isn't it? So he is considered a coward. He is ridiculed by learned people. People who are Kshatriyas, great Kshatriyas, they will laugh at him. He is running away from the battlefield. Is it not true? So, when Krishna is dancing with the gopis, he is called Dhira Lalitam. Even in the midst of thousands of gopis, he is unagitated. He remains completely pure. Shukadeva Goswami asked a question to Parikshit. Carrying Krishna in their hearts, there are many saintly people who are sannyasis, who lead a life of pure character like Lord Chaitanya or Shankaracharya or Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya. These people, carrying Krishna in their hearts, they can wander over the surface of the globe. They can wander and preach without falling down from their position. How can then Krishna fall down? Tell me. Simply carrying him, they become so purified. Krishna is the supreme purifier, Pavitram. So therefore, if we try to fit in, God inside our morality box, we are going to fumble. We are going to be fooled. We can't understand. Therefore, those people who stick to this third one, they are of two categories. They have faith in God and they have faith in morality, but their faith in God is subservient to morality. In that, there are two categories. One category says that, you take advantage of religion. Why? Because it makes you lead a clean life. You don't encroach on others' property. You have some. You can imagine any god you want, whatever you have choice. Like that they say. Any god, any shape, any form you can. Basically, you need some assumed or imagined faith. They say, and then when you lead a life of a very good orderly life and everything, you become a man of good standard, and you follow the laws of the state, and you follow human laws and everything. At that time, you don't need God anymore. Huh. That time you can keep God away. Because anyway, whatever God you had is also assumed God only. Huh. That you can throw it away. So is this not another type of atheism? Huh. So this is one category of people who say that they have faith in God, faith in morality, but their faith in God is subservient to morality. This is one category. Another category of people say that not only you should accept God, you should accept scriptures also. You should do Sandhya Vandan 3 times a day. Huh? Prata Sandhya, Madhyanik Sandhya, Sam Sandhya. You should do. And then that will cleanse your heart. You become purified. And you become purer and purer and purer. Suddenly one day will come and you realize you are the Supreme Brahman. Huh? At that time, there is no difference between you and God. Huh? You have understood that. Sarvam Kalvamidam Brahma. Huh? You understood that. So this is another category of people in this third. So ultimately, these people also, they are ultimately Mayavadi, Krishna Aparadi. Prabhupada says those who claim themselves to be God. This is another type of aparada. And if you see, beyond these 3 categories, there are 3 more. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. One is called as Dharma Dvaji. See, Dvaja means flag. Dharma Dvaja means externally these people will have all the religious markings and attires and everything. You will find, they will be neatly dressed like. There are so many people who appear like saintly people. There are people with long flowing beards. There are people with symbols and markings. They have their following. They have their matha. They have their ashram and everything they may have. But their display of ostentatious display and demonstration of religion is extremely superficial. Behind the veneer or the covering, they indulge in wealth and women. And sometimes you find that they are exposed and they are put behind the bars also. Sometimes you read that. Dharma Dvaji means they carry the flag of religion, but they truly don't follow the genuine religion. They become cheaters. If you want to know 5 type of cheating religion, you can read Prahlad Maharaj's 7th canto. You will find in the later chapters, like I think in 12, 13, 14 chapters, there you will get 5 types of. In that he is saying 5 types of religion. He is saying Vidharma. First he says Vidharma means there are people, they claim to be religious, but they are just opposed to religious activities. For example, in the name of religion, there are so many people killing so many animals. Thousands of goats they cut in the name of religion. There are many people like that. And they also indulge in smoking, drinking, all in the name of religion. Even nowadays you find people celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi or Durga Puja holidays, if you see. In the name of God, many things go on, sinful activities, vidharma. And second, he says Abhasa Dharma. Abhasa Dharma means like Bhakti Abhas is what? Sahajaism. People wearing sari and like a Sakhi Beki. This kind of 13 Apasampradayas, they are all Abhasa Dharma. It looks like Bhakti, but it is not Bhakti. They are cheaters. They are actually Sahajyas. They take Bhakti very cheaply. Then he is saying Upadharma. Upadharma means taking one limb of religion and making it as ultimate. Like for example, Buddhism. Buddhism teaches about ahimsa, paramo dharma. What paramo dharma? Ahimsa is one of the limbs of dharma. In ISKCON, even a new devotee follows ahimsa. And that's not the ultimate. Ultimate religion is paro dharma. Paro dharma is Bhagavad dharma. That is ultimate. But they have made a upadharma into ultimate dharma. That is upadharma we call it. So vidharma, abhas dharma, upadharma, then chala dharma. He says chala dharma means mayavadis. Those who give misinterpretation to the scriptures. See, when you read the scriptures, if you literally translate, then it may mean something. But sometimes you have to understand the meaning. So there are 2 meanings, Gavana Vakya there is a Gavana Vritti and Mukhya Vritti. Generally, the scripture should be translated in Mukhya Vritti. Unless in certain places where there is a Gavana Vritti is used. I'll tell you one example. Say you take a shloka like this. Keshavam patitam drishtva Pandava harsha nirmara Rudanti kauravastu ha ha Keshava Keshava. Here is a verse like this. See, literal meaning, you see what it is. Keshavam patitam drishtva means Keshava means Krishna. Patitam drishtva means Krishna slipped somewhere and he fell. Pandava harsha nirmara. The Pandavas laughed loudly. It looks like that. And Rudanti kauravastu. And all the Kauravas cried, ha ha Keshava Keshava, please Krishna Krishna, take care, take care. Like the Kauravas said. So this is the external meaning, correct, no? So it appears, how many of you are confident that this cannot be the meaning? Correct, no? We are confident, correct, no? Yeah. Now what is the actual meaning? Ka, shavam. Ka means water. Shavam means dead body. So once some people brought a dead body near a pond. And ka shavam, at the time, the crows started hovering. The crows are all thinking it will be so nice. We will have a feast for many weeks now because whole body has been kept here. They were thinking like that. But unfortunately, what happened? The dead body slipped and fell into the river. So seeing that, the fishes started delighting. Now we got a feast for many weeks. They thought like that. See, ka shavam patitam drishtva, Pandava means the fishes. Harsha nirmara, they had a big celebration. Oh, very good, very good. We got a big body now. But Rudante Kauravastu, all the crows cried. What they were saying? Ha ha, Kashava, Kashava. Aha, Keshava, Keshava means, oh, alas, alas, body has fallen into water. Now we cannot go inside water to eat it now. Now it will be for whom? For fish. We won't get it. That's how many of you are confident this must be the meaning? Correct? No? Yeah. So, therefore, you will find we should actually, whenever we study scriptures, we should see the overall meaning also. Therefore, there's a Paribhasha Sutra. Like in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.28. That is the Paribhasha Sutra. In that Sutra, Krishnasta Bhagavan Swayam. So Paribhasha Sutra is that Sutra which lifts up the whole scripture. You cannot give any meaning to any verse in a scripture without taking into reference that Paribhasha Sutra. You cannot do that. Same way in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there is Anya Bilashita Shunyam. That's the Paribhasha Sutra you will have like that. So now you are, even all of us may not be very great Sanskrit scholars, but you could immediately understand the meaning of this verse, correct now? So Chala Dharma means what? To give a wrong interpretation, like Maxim Miller and such people who came to India, Indologists. Their goal was to destroy the faith of people in Vedas. And then they wanted to divert them to another direction. So this is called Chala Dharma. Similarly, the Mayavadis were envious of Krishna. Wherever there is a meaning of Krishna's personal form, they will slip out. They will give some other meaning. But fortunately, there are enough quotes even in the Upanishads. Like for example, if somebody is talking to you Mayavadi, you should quote verses like this, like Prabhupada quotes. He says, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Yeko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. So clearly they say Yeko and Bahunam. God is one singular supreme and plural subordinates. And there are also verses like that. Samane Vrikshe Purusho Nimagno Anishe Yashochiti Muhyamanaha Pashyati Jushtam. He says that there are two birds sitting in a tree. One is a Jiva bird, another one is super soul bird. So these are the verses we should quote. Similarly, Prabhupada quotes Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetram Ityabidiyate Evam Yoveti Tam Prahu Kshetrajnam Iti Tadvidaha. This body is called as Kshetra, and the Atma is called as Kshetrajna. Then next verse Krishna says, Kshetrajnam cha api mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. He says, there is also one more Kshetrajna. He says, Kshetrajnam cha. Cha means also. Api mam vidhi. Who is that? Me, he says. So Mayavadi say, the previous Kshetrajna and this Kshetrajna are only one only. Both are, there is only one Brahman in this body. They say like that. So Prabhupada says, when Krishna is saying, Kshetrajnam cha api mam vidhi, I am also a Kshetrajna, he says. What does that mean? Say you are staying in a room and during yatra time, somebody is asking you, which, where are you staying? You say, oh, I am staying in that particular room. I am also staying in that room, if you say. What does that mean? One more is there, correct? No? See, you are staying alone in the room. Will you say, I am also staying in that room singly? Will you say that? What is the need of saying Kshetrajnam cha abhimam vedi? Instead, you should say Kshetrajnam, I am the Kshetrajna. So Prabhupada has really captured this kind of statements to establish the fact that there are two souls in this body. Huh? There is a Jiva soul, there is also super soul. Another verse. Dvavimau purushau loke ksharaschaksara eva cha ksharah sarvani bhutani kutastokshara uchyate. He says there are two souls, he's saying. Dvavimau purushau loke ksharah akshara. One is fallible and another one is infallible. The material world is full of fallible souls. We see this. But those who have become kutastokshara, one with Brahman, they are called akshara. Mayavadis are very happy with this verse. Why? Because the kutastokshara is said. Kutastakshara. Those who become like one with Akshara, Brahman, that means they are liberated souls. So, hence proved what Mayavadis will tell you. Therefore, when you are called Kshara, in the Pratibhashika, Vyavaharika stage, you are different from God. In Paramarthika stage, they will say that the Kshara becomes Akshara. So, you become one with God. They will argue like that. But you should see the next verse. And then Krishna says, Dvavimau purushau loke ksharaschaksara eva cha ksharah sarvani bhutani kutastokshara uchyate uttama purushastu anyaha paramatmeti udahritah yo lokatrayamavishya bibarti avyaya ishwarah. He's saying, uttama purushastu anya. He says, my dear friend, you are not that uttama purusha. Anya, there is another person. And what is his name? Paramatmeti udahrita. His name is Paramatma. And you may ask, I am the same fellow, I am Paramatma. He says, no. Yo lokatrayam avishya. He occupies all the three worlds, upper, middle and lower. Bibarti. And you are not the maintainer. He is maintaining you. Understand that. Yo vidadati kaman. Bibarti avyaya ishvara. He is maintaining you, Krishna says. Bibarti avyaya ishvara. He is an imperishable controller. You are a perishable controller. You control for a short while and you are Ayaram Gairam, you are gone. But he is always a controller. He is an imperishable controller, he says. And he doesn't stop there. He is saying after that, Yasmat Sharamati Toham Aksharaadapi Chottamaha Atosmi Loke Vedecha Pratitaha Purushottamaha. He says, Yasmat Sharamati Toham. I am beyond the fallible souls. Aksharad api cha uttamaha. And I am beyond the liberated souls also. This is a verse where Krishna very clearly brings out that the liberated souls are not same as Supreme Brahman. This is the verse. This was my turning point in Krishna consciousness. First time when His Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj showed me this verse. He said this, Yasmak Sharamati Toham Aksharaadapi cha uttamaha. That means these two souls are below and Paramatma is above. Even liberated souls cannot be counted as Paramatma. They are also Jivatma only. Only it's like souls who are covered by subtle body and souls who are liberated from subtle body. Moksha they have attained. That way there are two souls, but the Supreme Lord is beyond both. Yasma aksharamati toham aksharadapi cha uttamaha ataha asmi. Therefore, Loke and Vede, I am called as Patitaha Purushottama. So Jiva can never be Purushottam. Anybody who says Jiva is a Purushottama is Pashanti. He is the atheist. So that is called Chala Dharma. So I told you about Vidharma, Upadharma, Abhas Dharma, Chala Dharma, and then there is one more is there. There is one more. If you see the 7th canto, you will find it. Vidharma is covered already. Vidharma, Upadharma, Chala Dharma, Abhasa Dharma, and okay, we'll find out. If you find the 7th canto, you can tell me. So these are all. So why I told you this? People who have faith in morality and faith in God, but their faith in God is subservient to morality. Now, if you see, traditionally in India also, Brahmanas, if you see, Paradharma. Paradharma means Paradharma Bhayavaha. Eklavya tried to imitate the dharma of Kshatriyas, and therefore he got into trouble. Correct, no? Therefore, Dronacharya told him that you have a tendency to misapply the teaching of Shastra, and also at that time, He belonged to Nishada community who were all opposed to the ruling party. So Dronacharya said, you are ineligible to learn this. I will not teach you. But he is a first class example of what you should not do. He thought, he imitated the Kshatriya Dharma, and later on, therefore, Dronacharya asked him for the thumb so that he cannot misuse it in future. Correct, no? So one should not do somebody else's Dharma. You should do your own Dharma. Recently, somebody asked me, if Krishna says you should do your own Dharma, even though you may do it imperfectly, it is better than doing someone else's Dharma perfectly, he says. What is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is this. Our Arjuna was also trying to become a Brahmana, although he was a Kshatriya. So Krishna told him, Arjuna said, if I fight Krishna, my hands will tremble because I can't kill these people who are my relatives. Krishna said, perform your duty imperfectly rather than perfectly do the Brahmana's duty. You may go taking a begging bowl, begging alms. If somebody doesn't give you alms, you will immediately take out your sword. You won't give me alms? Because that's your nature, swabhava. So don't go against your swadharma. Do your thing according to Swadharma, Krishna told him. So that is paradharma, means one should not do someone else's dharma, one should do one's own dharma. So these are 5 types of, 5 types of people. I was telling about dharma dvajiya. People in the name of dharma, they do many other things like that. So morality and God consciousness, people who accept both, but they make God consciousness subordinate to their morality. You will find that. Therefore, in this there are 2 categories I told you. People who are impersonalists, who consider themselves to be God. And the other category I told you, the first one I told you, are people who say that assume any God, imagine any form of God, shape of God, you can worship whatever you want. There are people like that who speak. These are all really atheists. They are all counted as materialists only. And the 4th one is Dharmadvajis, and the 5th one is impersonalists. The impersonalists have a method called as Panchopasana. You will see in India it's well known. The Panchopasana was given by the Mayavadis so that people cannot worship the impersonal Brahman directly. So they accept these 5 forms, beginning with Surya, then Shakti, then Ganesh. So worshippers of Surya are called Shauryas. Worshippers of Shakti are called Shaktas. Then worshippers of Ganesh are called Ganapatyas. Then worshippers of Shiva are called Shaivas. Then lastly, worship of Vishnu are called the Vaishnavas. These Vaishnavas are different. They are impersonalist Vaishnavas. So this Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained these 5 very nicely in Shikshamrit. You will read it. He says that first a person thinks all the things in this world are running only because of the sun. See, without sun can you have rains? Without sun can you have grains, fruits, vegetables? If without all these things can jivas survive? Annat bhavanti bhutan. So then one worships the sun in the beginning as a source of all energy. Then one understands that sun is giving energy, but who is a original Shakti? Then one worships Shakti. One becomes a Shakta, like that. Then one worships the mass of people, which is called Ganapatya worship, Ganesha worship, because one thinks that all the jivas have the Chetan Vastu. Then sum total of all the jivas, one worships Ganesha. Then one goes to the platform of Shiva for attaining peace, because the Chetan Jeev in this world is suffering terribly, because of covered over by matter. So they worship Shiva for peace and silence. Then they understand peace is not ultimate, Shanti is not ultimate, Ananda is ultimate. And the Ananda can only be there when there are 2 people. Then you and God. Then the Vishnu worship comes, the Vaishnavas. But all these 5 categories of Panchopasaks, if you see, they are all Mayavadis, because they use this form, and after they attain the moksha, they will kick away this form. Just like you see in Ganesh Chaturthi time, 1 week they worship Ganesh. After 1 week, the book they'll put it in water. You will find that. Why they do Visarjan? That means they don't worship the form eternally. Whereas we devotees, if you see Vaishnava devotees, we worship the deities for all time, throughout our life. And after we leave this world, we go back to Godhead. There we continue to worship the Lord in His personal form. So our means and the end are same. There's no difference. Here we chant, there also we chant. Here we worship, there also we worship. Whereas these 5 fellows, They are the impersonalists. And so I told you till now how many? 5 categories. Fourth one is Dharmadvaji, and the fifth one is impersonalist, Panchopasaks. And the last one is called Polytheists. Polytheists means they say, we should not anger any god. Better you worship all the gods. So in some homes you will find the whole wall will be filled with so many different gods, and they will do for everybody. They will make sure nobody is unhappy. You think you can cover all the 33 crore devatas? Krishna says also that Sataya Shraddaya Yuktas Tasyaradana Vihate Labante Tatak Kaman Mayaiva Vihitan Hitan. Those devatas first get the gift from me, and then they give it to their followers. Many people don't know this. So they are all devata worshippers. Like Bhagavatam says a couple of examples very nicely. What is the root of the tree? The whole tree gets nourished. Put the food in the belly, the whole body is nourished. So this is those who know this and follow this, they become Ananya Bhaktas. Ananya Bhaktas. Our His Grace Sarvabhauma Prabhu, he always says very amazing examples. So he was giving one example. He was telling that when there was a little girl, she was 10, 12 years old. So she was friends with many boys, girls, everybody. She would roam in anybody's bike. She would go with any boy to the canteen and say, purchase this for me, I want to eat. But when she became 16, 17, 18, her parents told her that now we want to get you married now. So once she got married, she is no more a girl now. She has become a woman now. Then she understood, my husband is my Pati Dev, like my Lord. Now she became a Pativrata, great woman. And she would never connect with any of the boys with whom she was connecting before, as friends before. So our Sarvabhauma Prabhu was telling in the same manner, before you come to Krishna consciousness, we connect with many demigods for getting our own things. Just like this girl is saying, buy me this, buy me that. She was connecting with many boys. But now, once you become a Krishna devotee, Krishna becomes your Pati, Sattvatam Pati. After that, will you connect with any of the devatas? And even if you see the devatas, you will see them in relation to Krishna only. You will never see them independent. You will never go demigod and say, without Krishna's knowledge, secretly give me something. You will not ask like that. You will never do that. Yeah, because you have become a chaste devotee now. So the word sati is used for Kunti also. Kunti is called as a sati because devotees are just like, a married woman wears a kumkum. Similarly, devotees wear tilak. A married woman wears a Mangal Sutra. Devotees wear Kantimala. A married woman is sold out to her husband fully. Similarly, devotees are sold out to Krishna. Krishna becomes their prananath. And Maya can never allure the devotees with any amount of material gifts. Devotees are sold out, so they become Ananya Bhaktas. So now I was telling about 6 types of materialists from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Now here there's a glorification that even a king can be better than these type of so-called Brahmanas who are demigod worshippers or impersonalists or Semitis or Polytheists, all these Brahmanas. There are many Brahmanas. I didn't tell you one more thing is 6 systems of philosophy. Those are also Brahmanas. If you see, for example, Mimamsakas, if you see, Mimamsakas have more faith in karma theory than in the personality of Godhead. They say karma is so powerful that even God has to suffer. They say like that. See, even Lord Rama is crying. He lost his wife. Sita is crying. They say like that. This goes to show how atheistic they are, although they are Brahmanas. So, therefore he says, Yam imam pushpitam vacham prabhadantya vipashchitaha vedabhadarata parthanani dastiti vadinaha kamatmana swargapara janma karma phalapradam kriya vishesha bahulam bhogaishwarya gatim prati. These category of Brahmins say, the goal of life is to do punya and go to heaven. And what will you get in heaven? Here the life is very short. There the life is very long duration of life. Fine standards of pleasure. His Holiness Bhakti Vaishnava Ashraya Maharaj was telling that in heavenly planets there is no toilet block, he said. Because the devatas don't have to pass stool urine like the people in the earthly planet. He was telling their bodies are different type of bodies, ethereal bodies they have. Their body is born, their body dies. They don't get old, they don't get disease. They don't pass all the dirty things like that. So it's fine body. And therefore, sometimes you hear about Indra doing sense gratification and all these things you hear. In that planet, for devatas to remain detached is little difficult. You understand, no? See, for us to be detached is more easy. Why? After seeing the nature of the horrible nature of the material body, and all 9 holes throwing out all dirty things, you can easily develop detachment. Whereas these people aspire for that bhoga which is long lasting foolishly. So you may tell them, Traividyamam Soma Puta Papa Swargairish Traividyamam Soma Puta Papa Yajnairishwa Swargadim Prartayante Te Punyamasadya Surendra Lokam Ashtanti Divyan Divideva Bhogan Te Tambukva Swargalokam Vishalam Kshine Punye Matya Lokam Vishanti Evam Trayi Dharmamanu Prapanna Gata Agatam Kama Kama Alabante. In these 2 verses he says, these people, they worship devatas, and they want to go to the heaven, and where they enjoy the heavenly delights, like soma juice they want to drink. Soma juice is not liquor. Liquor is putrefying. Soma juice is purifying. He says, Soma Papa, Puta Papa, he says. So there is a different type of beverage there, which is purifying, which gives you long life, which gives you vitality to the body. You don't, it's not that you will not die, but you lead a very long life and healthy body, and lot of varieties of fine sense gratification. All the 64 colors. There is dance, there is drama, there is eating, there are apsaras. So in this way, they spend long duration of life, and then he says, Kshine Punye Martyalokam Vishanti, Gata Agatam. So do you think Mamamsakas are not aware of this? They are aware. Still they are foolish. Because they say, yes, it is true. Once your punya is over, you'll come back. Again you do punya. Again go to heaven. And exhaust your punya. Come back. And then you keep going up, coming down. And this is life, they say, all about. Because they say karma chakra is ultimate. Even God is not saved from that. Like that they think. So this goes to show their foolishness. Because, see, we should know that Rama, Krishna and all, when they come here, they are not subjected to karma. Krishna himself says that. Namam karmani limpanti, he says, Name karma phale spriha, idimam yobi janati karma vir nasabadyate. He says, not only I am not touched by karma, even those who know this fact, they are also not touched by karma, my devotees. What to speak of me? He says, so me and my devotees are untouched by karma. Namam karmani limpanti, name karma phale spriha, he says that. So, their logic is what? If you throw a ball on the wall, it has to come back. For every action, there is a reaction, they say. But they don't know the maker of the ball is ultimately Krishna, God. He can make a steel ball and he can make a magnet ball. You throw the ball, it will never come back. Correct? Huh? Krishna can change the destiny also. Like he changed the destiny of Arjuna by blocking the sun and arranging for Jayadratha to be killed. Krishna can do that. Krishna can change the destiny of a devotee. Karmani nir dahati. It is said if you clap hands and do Sankirtan, all the rays change because Krishna can change our destiny. So this is another big subject. Krishna changing our destiny. Like for example, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Mukunda, 10 million births I will not give him my mercy. When devotees went and told Mukunda started dancing. I will see, he said. And devotees asked, what will you see? He was not even saying, I will see. And then everybody came back to Mahaprabhu and said, Mukunda is saying that he will see you after 10 million births. He is satisfied that you have not rejected him. At least you have told that you will not reject him, you will accept him after 10 million births. Mahaprabhu said, really? Is that what Mukunda says? He said, yes, call him here immediately. That means Mahaprabhu changed his mind. Just like how many of you sitting here, you can change your mind sometimes? So where is the tendency coming from? Krishna only. Krishna can also change his mind. So God can do that if he wants. Therefore, there is no restriction for Krishna. He can change his mind. If you have to take 10 million births, he can call you right now. If you just have a small change in attitude. Another example, when milk drinking brahmachari, Dugdhahari brahmachari, was chastised by Nimai Pandit and he told him to get out from the watching the Sankirtan in Shiva Sangan. He went out. And then Mahaprabhu continued his kirtan. And then what was happening with that brahmachari? He was very humble brahmachari. He said, I am simply an austere brahmachari. But all these are pure devotees of Krishna. And I got to see the dance of Lord Nimai Pandit at least for a few moments. Thanks to Shivas. Like that he was very humbly thinking. Immediately Mahaprabhu noticed his attitude and told Shivas, call him inside. Huh? Next moment he changed his mind. So Lord can change his mind, change our destiny if he wants. Huh? So it's not that sometimes people say, Prabhu, in this life, I don't know whether I will attain Krishna Prema. Then I always scold such boys when they say that. I tell them, that means you don't have faith in Krishna's power. Huh? You think your anarthas are more bigger than Krishna's power to deliver you. Huh? Actually, Krishna is like a sun. He can evaporate all our anarthas in a moment, provided we have a right attitude. Huh? So, therefore, those who have developed firm faith in the personality of Godhead, even though they may be kings, like for example, Yudhishthira Maharaj, or like Yudhishthira Maharaj was such an amazing king. Narada told him, Yuyam Driloke Bata Bhuri Bhaga Esham Punanam Munayo Biyanti. See, Esham Punanam Munayo Biyanti. Lokam Punanam Munayo Biyanti. Such munis and rishis are coming to your palace, my dear king. Lokam Puranam, they can purify all the planets in this world, wherever they put their feet. Yuyam Driloke Bata Bhuri Bhaga. Although you are living in material circle, see, Driloke is not only living in material world. You are surrounded by many materialistic things like elephants and horses and chariots and wives and children and kingdom and all those things. Yuyam Driloke, but Bata Bhuri Bhaga, still you are very fortunate. He says, why are you still fortunate? He says, because lokam punana muniyobhyanti. Such great saintly people are coming to your court and queuing up in your court. Who can purify all the worlds? He's saying, Yesham punanam vasatehi sakshat. He's saying that here, he says, Yesham avasati iti sakshat. He's saying, avasati means the Supreme Lord Krishna has arrived at your palace. Gudam Parabrahma Manushyalingam. That Supreme Parabrahman Krishna, God of all gods, Master of all masters, one who has created millions of universes, he is coming, Vasati iti sakshat. He's saying, he is coming and staying in the palace, he's saying, in your palace. Because Krishna is here, all the Rishi Munis are coming to see him. So your palace has become sanctified. So therefore, this king Yudhishthira is certainly greater than the Brahmanas whom I talked about till now. 6 types of materialists. Is it not true? Not only that, Yudhishthira Maharaj was such an amazing ruler. Shaunaka Rishis asked Sutta Goswami, after he became the king, what was his character? Because generally it is said, give money and facilities and privileges to a man, his character will be revealed. But Sutta Goswami said, when he ascended the throne, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he gave all the kingdom to his brothers to rule. He divided the world and told them, you all rule the world. And what was he doing? He was doing bhajan, constantly absorbed in devotional service. That was Yudhishthira Maharaj. And because he was always worshipping Krishna with great love, the nature was paying tax. The nature was giving him rains in time. And there were also gold and silver and diamonds. The gardens were full of flowers. Trees were full of ripened fruits. And people had no sickness, no pandemic. No kinds of evil forces. And also there was no quarrel between the citizens. Everybody was very, very happy. And people were quite healthy and happy and satisfied. His kingdom was so amazing. And his brothers were completely subservient to him. And all the wives cooperated with him. And the praja saluted him. And all the other subordinate kings paid him taxes. And the nature was also paying taxes. He's explaining his kingdom so beautifully. Kamam avarsha parjanyaha sarva kamadu gamahi shishichusma prajan gavaha payaso udasvatir muda. The cows are running hither and thither, smiling very happily with their milk bags heavily loaded with milk, and it was producing milk kitchen on the ground. It was like that. Cows are very cheerful, and the rains were showering on time. And the king didn't have to bother at all about anything. Everything was arranged, he says. People lived very happily. So, and that's because Krishna was pleased with Yudhishthira Maharaj's rule. So, such Rajarishi kings like Yudhishthira Maharaj, or you take Prithu Maharaj, such amazing king, he was ruling, he called the citizens and gave them very good instructions. What kind of instructions he gave? There is one verse which says, Charu Chitra Padam Shlakshnam Gudam Mrishtam Aviklavam Sarvesham upakarartham tada anuvadanniva. The nature of his instructions is explained here. Char Chitrapadam, such a sweet words he spoke in glorification of the Lord, and the duties of the people and responsibilities of the people in general, what they should do, how they should do Varnashrama, and offer the fruits to Krishna, and how they should be subservient to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. He said, even I am myself subservient to Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, he said, because they are all called as Bhudeva. Bhudeva means they are earthly gods. They should be worshipped. So the way he spoke was so sweet, and all the Brahmanas said, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Well done, my dear king. Your speech is, in fact, king asked the Brahmanas, a king is supposed to give order to the citizens, I am giving. All of you, please correct me if I am wrong. And they all said there was nothing wrong with what you said. Everything was so all perfect. They glorified him. Yat pada seva viruches tapasvinam aneka janmo pachitam malam dhiyah satya khinotyan bahame dati sati yada padangushta vinisrita sarit. He says, just like Lord Krishna's lotus feet touched the waters of Viraja and became Ganga. Similarly, he says to citizens, if we take the lotus feet of Krishna in our heart will become purified, like Ganga became purified. This kind of instructions he gave. So such Raja Rishis who are pure devotees are far superior to the impersonalist Brahmanas, Mimamsaka Brahmanas, and such kinds of people. So, or the six type of materialists who are going on in the name of bogus religion. So, I told you about Yudhishthira Maharaj, I told you about Prithu Maharaj, and here we are talking about Dhruva Maharaj, such amazing Raja Rishi king, pure devotee king. Duraradyam, Lord is very difficult to worship. Durapya, Durapya means very difficult to obtain. But that Lord is called as Ajitam, but he became Parajitam. Lord is unconquerable, but he became conquered by the love of Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj, in 6 months period, attained darshan of Vishnu, and Vishnu became pleased with him, and Narada, his guru, is glorifying him. And therefore, you can easily understand why Dhruva is considered to be superior to even such Karmakandi Brahmanas and, or ordinary kings. He is not ordinary king, he is a Raja Rishi, pure devotee king. Dhruva Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. So you can see our His Grace Anandamaya Prabhu, he may be born abroad. He was born in France. Born in France, but he is better than a million Brahmanas in India, because he is chanting the holy name, he has taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada. That is the meaning of this verse.